Tucker Carlson responded to Volodymyr Zelensky's visit to the United States, to the White House, and then he addressed the joint session of Congress. And what I'm about to show you is so unhinged and just not logical. Set aside how this kind of in my core will make me angry. Just logically, what he's saying in this clip I'm about to show you, and then we have a second one right after it, is so deeply illogical and backwards. Take a look at the wise analysis from Tucker Carlson, the most watched cable news host, to a historic visit of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy to the United States to rally support for his defense of his country.
As far as we know, no one's ever addressed the United States Congress in a sweatshirt before, but they love him much more than they love you. Welcome to Tucker Carlson's Night. Remember when Sam Bankman-Fried showed up in Washington wearing a t-shirt and spouting nonsense, and all the self-described geniuses declared him a hero? The media, the Congress, the White House, they all love this weird little guy called Sam Bankman-Fried. Do you remember that? Somehow we were reminded of it today when the president of Ukraine arrived at the White House dressed like the manager of a strip club and started to demand money. Amazingly, no one threw...
He's at war. I don't think putting on a nice suit is at the top of his priority list.
...him out. Instead, they did whatever he wanted. American taxpayers declared Joe Biden will continue to give Zelenskyy whatever he demands for, quote, as long as it takes.
So the funny thing even there is, I think giving the phrase whatever it takes doesn't literally mean whatever. It just means we're here and we're going to try to help you with what you need. But also, as we looked at in a previous segment, Joe Biden didn't even say we'll give you anything and everything, and had to clarify that certain types of support would be seen as too escalatory. And so the Biden administration isn't going to go there, but is going to go in other areas that he feels like will fulfill the needs that Ukraine has without sparking a larger set of ramifications that he doesn't want to. And so even that's just false. And then second moment I'll show you from Tucker Carlson responding to this significant event.
The point of today's visit to Washington was not to make the world more stable or make wise decisions, much less to help America. That's always at the bottom of the list. The point was to fawn over the Ukrainian strip club manager and hand him billions more dollars from our own crumbling economy. It is hard, in fact, it may be impossible to imagine a more humiliating scenario for the greatest country on earth. And we would love to blame Joe Biden for it, but we can't really, not entirely at least. This was bipartisan masochism.
We're going to play a little bit more of this clip where he just gets so weird. But first, to what he said there. Number one, why he's obsessing over the outfit of President Zelenskyy makes absolutely no sense. Again, he's at war. You're going to have different types of clothing on when that's what you're dealing with day to day. But then, and the strip club owner thing is just, if you want to make a substantive point about why you're aggravated about this, then obsessing over the appearance is not going to get you there, because that's just completely without substance. Second point, he says it's humiliating to the most powerful or the greatest country on the planet to be doing what we're doing in regard to Ukraine and with this event. No, it's the exact opposite. What is a better use of the power you have as the most powerful country in the world than defending a weaker, a less powerful, and a defensive, a country that's defending themselves from an unjustified attack? What's a better use of your power as the most powerful country in the world than that? He's completely wrong. Watch it get even weirder.
The Uniparty is alive and well despite the best efforts of voters, including last month. And if you doubt that it's alive and well, here's a picture of Zelenskyy that he had taken with a group of elderly Republican senators in Kiev back in May. They stand grinning next to him in their orthopedic shoes. 70-year-old Susan Collins, John Barrasso, John Cornyn, led by their 80-year-old ringleader, Mitch McConnell. 44-year-old Zelenskyy poses between them in a skin-tight polo shirt, flexing like a weightlifter and trying to look ferocious. They seem awestruck. Not since a young Fidel Castro showed up in New York wearing battle fatigues has this country's aging leadership class tittered more loudly in delight. They love a man in uniform. What a hunk. So strong and decisive. Look at the expression on Mitch McConnell's face. You can almost hear the giggles of pleasure. No rational person assessing the issues ever...
So, again, I say, what is this obsession with Zelenskyy's appearance? He brings up the clothing again, and then he's talking about how tight Zelenskyy's shirt is, and the giggles of Mitch McConnell in being next to him and how he's posing like a bodybuilder or something, he said, a weightlifter. That is so irrelevant to the conversation that needs to be had about this. And it shows you, I've had discussions with people who have a difference in opinion than me when it comes to Ukraine. It's not anywhere as close as far as Tucker Carlson, of course, because that would just not be a good conversation. But some people feel like, I don't think we can afford to give as much money as we're giving. And then we'll go back and forth and it's a perfectly good faith conversation. Tucker Carlson, with this is a jihad on the Christian nation of Russia, and this is an attack on Christianity, as the banner read later on in his segment, and all of this, he's completely unhinged. That shows you that his stance can't be argued with good substance, evidence, and facts in a calm and logical way, because he has to go to the tightness of the polo on Zelensky's body. That reveals to you how illogical and how without substance Tucker Carlson's arguments in regard to this truly are. Let me know what you think. Luke P. Beasley on Twitter. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before any of the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get a full extra show every single Saturday, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley, and there's a link in the description.